Good morning. Saturday, we usually talk about purpose, and today I thought we could actually discuss rather than me teach about the blind spots in our life. So let's just wait for a few people to come on. I'm just going to set my phone so that I can read the comments that are coming in, as I normally do. Go back. It's really getting hot here in Greece. At last, it's been very, very late coming. Usually by the middle of May, we get rid of duvets because it's just too hot to sleep with a duvet, so we just sleep with sheets. And it is today, the 6th of June, and last night we still slept with a duvet, but I believe from today, a heat has settled. And it's windy. I've been to the beach already this morning. Spectacular to sit there and just look at that amazing Greek sea. And of course there's waves today because normally we don't see waves here. So all these waves, and it's just wow, beautiful fresh air. The beach was quite empty because of course it's too windy for people to go there. So say good morning, let me know who's here, let me give me a thumbs up, a little smiley emoji, something, a comment, a good morning. And today, as I said, we're going to be talking about your blind spots. I would like this to be an interactive conversation. So I'd like you to start thinking about what does it mean to you to have a blind spot. If you've had a blind spot that frustrated the hell out of you, what is it that you did to overcome that blind spot? So what kind of technique did you do? Did you do therapy? Did you work it out yourself? Did you do journaling? Did you do coaching? Read a book? I would love to share the different ways that one can actually overcome blind spots. And like I say with blind spots, that the frustration that it creates, the overwhelm that it creates, is because we don't know what we don't know. So we keep doing the same things. We think we're doing them differently, but actually what we're doing is the same thing over and over, hoping that we are going to change the outcomes. And that is what they call the sign of madness, right? That you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And because you don't know what you don't know, it's very difficult to know what to change in trying to resolve this in order to get a different outcome. So this is where it gets really, really frustrating. So I would love to hear your feedback, your experiences, what you have done, what happened. But let's just start with just a general good morning, what you would like to get out of this talk, and let it be interactive. Let us all sort of discuss together. So blind spots. For those of you who are watching, good morning. Don't know where you're watching from. I know that I get people coming from all over the world at different times of the live, and it's great to see my friends from all over the world. So a blind spot, and I'll give you an example of something that happened with me. So way back when I got married, and it turned out to be an absolute disaster, and it was living in hell every single day. So I eventually had the courage to leave my ex-husband, and that week just showed me so much that I wasn't seeing when I was in that situation, which is, by the way, you probably have experienced these kind of things. You go on holiday, or you maybe go on a retreat. So in other words, you remove yourself out of the situation that you're in, and then slowly in time, because you are not in that everyday survival kind of mode, you start to be able to see things more clearly. And I know that right now, a lot of people that I've been talking to, this is what Corona has done for them. So in some ways, the Corona lockdown has created a bit of a solitary confinement, a solitary retreat, or perhaps just a retreat with your family. You've had to readjust the way you work, the way you live, the things that you do every day. So you are out of that sometimes, and I would love to say the word chaotic rhythm that we are. So you come out of it because we had to. And now that we are going back to the normal, whatever this new normal is, a lot of people are having a lot of conflict because they just don't want to go back to that, because now in this time that they spend, they see things differently, and therefore they recognize that that frustration, that constant fatigue, that exhaustion that was happening to them was not because they were just working too hard. It's because they were working in a way that wasn't in alignment with their purpose and with their desires, with their identity. They weren't living life on their terms. They were compromising. They were, under obligations. I've even heard a couple of people that have reflected that, because I ask, of course, the magical question, which is, if you could do your deepest desire, what is that deepest desire? What is it that you want, but your deepest desire? And a lot of people would say to me, I wouldn't be doing this job. I would be doing something completely different. So we had that conversation about, well, what is it that made you go in this direction? What made you study this? What made you become whatever you've done? And a lot of it was the pressure, the obligation that they felt when they were teenagers, to their peers, to their parents. And, it's interesting because now in hindsight, as they look back, they recognize that although their parents pressurized them to do something, and of course parents always try and guide kids, their children, to do the best that they can, because they kind of have experience about their own life, and they go, I don't want my child to go through this. I don't want my child to suffer this way, or to struggle, or to be unhappy this way. So therefore, I'm going to push my child to do what I didn't do. And therefore, parents, out of all the right intent, will push their children in a certain direction, but very often children will then go into a kind of a job, a career that is not really what they wanted. And it's always an interesting thing if we were just to allow our children to follow their gut instinct in what they feel they're going to enjoy, knowing that even in that time, they might change direction because something becomes more obvious and more apparent to them. And therefore, if we can just trust that things always work out and things will happen as they need to happen, then we know that we can allow our children to make those choices and decisions and follow their dreams without having to also do something as well as satisfy the parents. So, like I said, oops, somebody's trying to call me. Hold on. Right. So we're talking about blind spots. How do we find out what are the blind spots? And if you had a blind spot in your life, how did you overcome this? So yeah, retreats is one way. Retreats is one way. Oh, somebody's really persistent in trying to call me. We'll call them back soon. Retreats is one way. Sometimes it's having a conversation with somebody that you trust. It could be a coach, it could be a mentor, it could be a therapist, and it could be your best friend. Somebody that knows you, has their best interest for you, but doesn't have the emotional attachment to your outcomes. Because we all have emotional attachment to our outcomes, because it's all about our self-worth and about our purpose, and are we valuable? Do we matter? Have we kind of fulfilled the reason that we were born, and we breathe and we work every day? So they don't have that emotional attachment to the outcomes, and therefore it's so much easier for them to give you, the information that you yourself can't reach. Because remember, the inside stuff, it's always a little bit of a mystery until somebody points it out, and suddenly you go, oh my goodness, how could I have not seen this for all these years? So, right, it is a Saturday morning. I don't know if everybody's out shopping or gardening or still sleeping or something, but I'm not getting any questions or anything like that. So I'm going to assume that this is the end of this live, and that's fine. Share with me comments later if you watch this live later. I'm still very curious. I would love you to share your experience so that other people can read it and get some value out of it. And for the rest of it, have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Monday, and enjoy. Take care.